Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for coming along this evening. So my name's Sarah Wordsworth and I run Creative-Wellbeing, which is all about helping you to find creative solutions to your well-being that fit in with your busy lifestyle and to joyfully run with the seasonal flow of life. So tonight we're going to be talking about a beautiful well-being experience that we are offering to you. We'd love to invite you along in Sicily. So we have Claire Thompson here who's going to talk to us about the gorgeous place and all the lovely things that we can do while we're over there. Um, so I will allow Claire to introduce herself to you and tell you all about what she does, and then we'll do a bit of screen sharing and let you know what treats we have in store.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. I am originally from the UK. I've been in Sicily now for just over 4 years. I am a pre-Brexit leaver, um, and managed to escape to the sunshine just in time. Um, I'm a holistic therapist. That's one expression for it. I prefer the term healer, because that is what I do. But I was called to Sicily about 5 years ago, and it was all about the old Field of Dreams quote of "Build it and they will come." I had no idea why I came to Sicily. I had no idea why I had to buy a field or build a house or any of those things. I just knew I had to do it, and that's what I did. I followed my heart and did exactly that. So we've now got a home here. We've got accommodation here for guests. We're completely off grid, which is a whole nother story and a different way of living. Some good, some bad. And it was about coming here and energizing the land and planting trees and vegetables and all that kind of stuff to really reinvigorate what is already a beautiful place. So I am down in the Platini Valley. I am surrounded by forests and mountains, um, and I have the most beautiful community just 5 kilometers from here in town. Um, and I am in the process of creating a space for, I'm going to say women at this moment in time, because that's where it's sitting with me, for women to come and just find whatever it is they're looking for and to hold that safe space so that they can come and just be whoever they need to be when they go home. It's silence, it's nature, it's healing, and it's home to me.
Oh, thank you, Claire. That was lovely. So yes, we're going to be going to Claire's lovely home. We're going to have a look at some photographs and things of it very shortly. Um, I didn't really introduce what I do, other than to say it's to do with creative wellbeing solutions. So for 12 years, I've been a Pilates instructor. I felt that Pilates was something I really wanted to explore when I found it had a hugely profound healing effect on me after some injuries and illness. And I was just intrigued at how amazingly you can connect with your body and your mind through movement and through that sort of precision and placement and just thinking about where everything is going and how it feels. That led me to train in some more sort of specialist areas, so spinal conditions and post-breast cancer recovery, scoliosis, pelvic dysfunction, all sorts of things that were really interesting. But one of the things that sort of came up time and time again was that my clients didn't feel that Pilates was enough. So very often they were talking to me about their problems, and I didn't feel like I was able to help them with any sort of mental health issues that they had, other than to provide some exercise, which does help. And then I found myself suddenly starting journaling and writing poetry and finding all these wonderful words that felt very nurturing and very important to share, and realized that actually this would be a wonderful add-on, a lovely addition to movement. And without movement, you can't really have any creativity. And everything is just so intrinsically linked. And a lot of my writing was inspired by nature. And from there, I sort of investigated further the benefits and the healing power of nature. And it all kind of came together in one beautifully baked loaf of well-being, is how I can describe it. So I'm going to share my screen now, and oh, we'll have a quick look at this first. This is a lovely video, so you can all see the view. This is a drone flying over this absolutely gorgeous space where we can gather. And the beautiful view of the mountains and the forest. Absolutely gorgeous. So that was an overview of what to expect and what to see when you come out there. So now we're going to have a look at um, the PowerPoint. So yes, we've done our welcomes, and we've said that it's going to be, we're inviting you on a transformative well-being experience in Sicily. And our invitation to you this evening, we're going to talk to you about the expectations. Now, I know there are a lot of people think of the word retreat, and there's a lot of stigma, there's a lot of ideas that you might have of what that actually means, and it might not be exactly what you think it is. And so we have sort of avoided using the word retreat, but I think for the purposes of what most people are coming along for, the word retreat sort of fits the bill, really. So we're going to talk about what it is and what it isn't. We're going to look at the location and all the facilities that are here, the experiences that we're bringing to you while you are with us and while we are holding this space for you, the optional extras that can make it more of a holiday for you to extend your time here, the costs and what that includes, what isn't included, and our next steps and special offer. So we've done our introductions. Claire has introduced herself as holistic therapist and a healer. And I am a Pilates teacher and wordsmith. So, what not to expect? And I think this image perfectly conjures up what everybody instantly thinks of when the word retreat springs into the air, is some gorgeous 20-somethings in rather expensive hippie-ish clothing on the beach, just looking gorgeous and having a nice time, and maybe doing a bit of yoga and spending an awful lot of money for the privilege. Um, it's a real preconception that that's what a retreat is, and that is not what this retreat or this gathering is about. This is about us providing a beautiful space for you. So a space where you can explore well-being activities that maybe you haven't tried before, but exploring a new location, coming to Sicily, a space to explore who you are, looking at your identity, so journaling to find your true voice. We've talked about women, I think in particular, as we go through life, we have all these roles that we step into. We are mums, we are grandparents, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are carers, we have a work role. And somewhere in there, along the way, we lose ourselves a bit. We're so used to stepping into whatever is expected of us by other people, we forget to step into what we need for ourselves. So our identity, our voice, this this is designed to give you that space to explore all of these different things, experience these well-being practices, put it into a routine, try out new things, and hopefully a lot of those will really resonate with you and you will enjoy them so much that you will incorporate those into your everyday life. So, Claire, I don't know if you wanted to add anything on to what I've said there.
Not right this minute, no.
Okay. So we'll move on. So this is the location. Some beautiful pictures here. I am so excited to visit this place. It just looks amazing. I mean, the first time you showed me some pictures, I just was wowed. Um, it is absolutely gorgeous. So
So when I came to this place, just so you know, the view that you can see, the view from the container there, that's the view that I fell in love with.
yeah, yeah.
And I just knew that this was the right place to be.
Mm,
And I am still 4 years in, astonished when people turn up and they just stand and they take a breath and they just go, wow.
mm,
It still gets me now every single time it happens.
yeah.
It's really very beautiful. There's something special about this particular part of the valley. I can't tell you what it is. I don't know, but I know that it's a combination of the nature, of the silence, of the
Mm,
general peace. The energy here is phenomenal. And we've tried to build everything so that it's part of the environment.
mm,
Um, I know we've built buildings, but we've tried to build them as sustainable as possible. We're completely off grid here, so we run on solar panels for everything. We're
mm,
not connected to town water, so it's all been a bit of a learning curve for us. But we've tried to keep it so that it is part of the environment rather than on the environment,
mm,
if that makes sense. Um, and tried to keep it as wide and as natural as we can.
mm,
From everything, from the materials we've used, how we've built them, even down to the people who built it for us. That was
mm,
that was as important. Their energy was as important as the actual structure. Um, we've recycled the actual container house that you can see there is made from the shipping containers
mm,
that we used when we built the house. So we've tried to recycle and as much as we can, and we are sat in the environment with nature all around us. Um, we don't always get it right, but it's a learning curve, and
mm,
we're 4 years in. So we are getting there. We've got 9 acres. And anybody that comes to this here in Sicily is welcome to wander wherever they please. There are no restrictions apart from your obvious safety. Um, we've got the forest down at the bottom, as you can see. We've got forest behind us and to both sides of us, actually. And it's a place where you can go and sit and just just be within it. It's about allowing that nature and that silence and that peace to come to you as part of that healing process. I have built the fire pit space there. It did used to have my healing tent on. The storm took the healing tent away. That's a long story. So now it's used for fire pit where we can sit and either talk or sing or drum or whatever we feel the urge to do. And the terrace at the front. What I'm trying to include here is so that my home is your home. It's not separate. So if you want to come and use the terrace, or you want to go and sit out on the land, or you want to go down to the olive grove, or go and pick lemons off the lemon trees, whatever it is, this space is for whatever you need it to be. And that's really important to me, that you consider this a safe space to do whatever you need to do, quite simply. Does that make
Mm.
sense, Sarah?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's such a lovely invitation. And I hope everybody can see from these pictures just what a gorgeous space it is for us to come to and how welcoming it is. Uh, so we'll move on to the next slide, and this is sort of the shape of the space and what we're going to create for you. So as I said, Pilates is what I've trained in, but there are many, many different ways of doing Pilates. Some of them which are a bit more mindful, some of them are a bit freer. Some of them are just about allowing yourself to move through different shapes and your body to do whatever it feels it needs to do to become unstuck. So very often when we feel stuck mentally, as I said here, emotionally, creatively, spiritually, or physically, we need to bring some movement in, because movement unsticks stuff. Yeah, it unsticks your brain, it unsticks your soul, it unsticks everything. And like Claire said, the location is absolutely surrounded by the most gorgeous nature, wonderful forests, olive groves. You could see all the grasslands as well. And nature is one of our greatest healers and teachers of lessons. So she soothes, challenges, and inspires in equal measure. So I will be taking you out into nature. We will do some, it's not going to be big hikes. It's nothing overly taxing. This is about enjoying being in nature in an ecocentric way, in a mindful way, in a slow way, rather than an egoic way where you're sort of trekking through it and getting from one point to the other and saying, "Ah, I've done it, did 5K." It's not about that. This is about being in it, seeing, hearing, feeling, smelling, touching, and allowing nature into you as well, and her wonderful healing powers. So we will do a bit of forest bathing. We will do all sorts of wonderful activities um, out in the surrounding area. And as I said, a lot of those will be mindful activities. There is going to be a lot of mindfulness, because I think these days we can tend to get on a bit of a hamster wheel. Everything's so fast and every day feels the same. We sort of go work, 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 holiday, work, 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 holiday. And there's not a lot of slowing in between and allowing and noticing. And it's when we do those things, we allow ourselves to slow down. We allow our mind to sort of unclench and feel a bit freer. And when we do that, we feel our whole nervous system becomes more relaxed. And we tend to notice other things that actually bring us joy, rather than focusing on the chaos right in front of our noses. You've got that opportunity now, that space that we've created for you, to bring some peace and stillness into your lives. And there will be meditation. Whether you are a novice, whether you've never meditated before, or you're a regular practitioner, whatever meditation needs to be for you, it is welcome. So there will be guided sessions. If you prefer to go and meditate on your own, or you want to do a walking meditation, or even some kind of art or doodling, whatever meditation is for you, that is welcome, but there will be designated time and space for that, so that we can learn to sort of get out of our heads a little bit and be in the moment. And then, of course, journaling. Um, a lot of the time when I talk to people about journaling, I can instantly see this tiny, it's almost imperceptible, but it's like this little grip that happens in them, in the body, in behind their eyes, and it's this school. It's I will be judged, I will be marked, I will be graded. Journaling is about getting rid of all that expectation that we load onto the pen. This pen will become your greatest liberator if you let it. This is about reflection and transformation. This is about asking yourself questions that can liberate you from all sorts of limits that you've placed upon yourself. And again, if you're a complete novice, that's absolutely fine. That is very welcome. If you're an avid journaler, maybe you just want to go with some of the prompts that I have and just go off on your own way. Nobody needs to share anything. It is a completely safe space if you do wish to. Um, and you can journal in your own way. So I will be providing some lovely journals and pens. And if you want to doodle, if you want to colour, if your spelling isn't great, if you don't want to add any punctuation, if you want to add tons of punctuation, if you feel the need to put expletives in there, that's absolutely fine. It's your journal. But hopefully it will be something that will um, really allow you to connect with your deepest thoughts so that you find that voice again, you find who you are, and you find the you outside of all those roles that you've been playing. So that is what we are offering within the time of the retreat with us. So I'm going to hand over to Claire again now to talk about the lovely place where you'll be staying and how we're going to be getting around and eating and all of those kinds of wonderful things.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. So the accommodation is it's 5 kilometers from here, so that's literally on the edge of Chinchana itself. Um, and a it's a really lovely space, and I am really pleased to say this year they added a pool, which just makes it even nicer, especially if the sun's shining in May. So there's various levels of apartments in there. There's a double, there's fours, there's sevens, etc., etc. But they're all pretty much the same format in that they've got obviously bedroom space, they've got a dining room, they've got a kitchen, they've got a bathroom. So everything that you need is within that area. Aircons there, etc., etc. So it's just on the edge of town, but it's close enough. I would say 5 minutes if you're a quick walker, and if you want to stroll, it's 10 minutes to the first restaurant, which actually is my favorite restaurant. So that's a bonus. It's close to all the amenities. It's close to a supermarket, two supermarkets, in fact, we've got now. The bread shop, which I have to say is an absolute must for breakfast. Um, so breakfast over in Sicily is not your bowl of cereal. People go to the bakery and they either get bread or they get canetti, which is what do you call them? Croissant, filled with pistachio cream and chocolate and crema, etc., etc. Yeah, diets go out of the window this week, I promise you. So all of that is in walking distance. The accommodation, as I say, is on the edge, but you can walk across town in maybe right to the other side in, I don't know, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour if it's a gentle stroll, which takes you through to the bars in the evening if you've got the energy left. Be warned, Sicilians don't start their evenings early. So we have the old fashioned, the shop is open in the morning, then it shuts, and then it opens again about 4:30. Bars do not open till 7:30, 8 o'clock. And when I say bars, I mean they are coffee bars as well as a normal bar where you can get a drink. So the town life is really good. There may be festivals on at the time. I can't quite remember what's around at that time of year. But there's a bit of everything, but it's all within walking distance of the accommodation. I've tried to pick it carefully, and it means that everybody is together, and then the minibus will pick you up from there every morning and bring you down and then take you back in the evening. That will also take you to and from the airport. So everything is arranged. You don't have to worry about where you're going, whether you've got to walk, get a taxi or anything. Everything is in walking distance, unless you want to go to another town. That's entirely different. So I've tried to keep it where I can. I've used these facilities for family, and every single person gave me really good feedback. So I have no qualms about where this is. And they're a beautiful family who run it, and they will take care of everybody. So I'm happy with that.
Excellent. Okay, and then here we have the town and the beach, which
Yeah, yeah,
looks
definitely.
amazing.
The beaches are spectacular. So the third picture along is Chinchana from the air. And um, when I first came in 2019 to have a look, it was about midnight, half past midnight. It was absolutely pouring down with rain in November. And I came to this side of the picture here. Um, and the whole town had an orange glow with all the streetlights, and I just fell in love. That was me hooked. I was going to live here no matter what. The town is quite small. We have about 3,000 people at a push. It does get busy in summer. Obviously, we have Ferragosto here in August, which honestly, they just keep on coming. I don't know how we get them all in. But generally, and particularly in May, it will be relatively quiet. It's a very old-fashioned town. It's a bit like stepping back in time. The community is what keeps me here, because they still have that taking care of whether you're Sicilian, whether you're an expat, whether you only come for 2 months a year or whether you're here all the time, there is that community where they take care of you, love you, make sure you've got everything you need. They're very proud people. They're a very poor people. A lot of them are still farmers. And this year has been particularly tough because we've had a drought. But it is just a beautiful, beautiful community. And it doesn't matter that you don't speak Italian. They will love it if you try. And where you get stuck, hand gestures, pointing, that all works too. The beaches are um, about 30 minutes away in the car, and we can get the minibus out and use that. But they are literally just stretches of white sand. Um, May time might be a bit chilly for swimming, unless you're really brave. Um, but I've been to the beach in February and laid on the beach, had a picnic, all the usual stuff.
Mm.
So, it's all possible. Um, but yeah, it is just a beautiful town that I am very proud to call home.
Oh, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it yeah, reminds me of Montalbano.
Well, that's just down on the coast. Been there,
Is
done
it?
that. Fabulous, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so as we've explained, there is a lot included, but there are some optional extras that you might want to add on to your time here. So during the actual retreat itself, there will be, it's not going to be a full-on program. You will need time to process things. You might want a bit of time on your own, just a bit of downtime and time to chat and talk with one another. And during those times, it might be that you want to book in a massage therapy or a Reiki healing session with Claire. So that's something that can be arranged. We can arrange some optional extra excursions, so a trip to the beach. Claire's also said that there might be demonstrations with local artists and craftspeople. I think there was a silversmith, wasn't there, who was
Yeah,
quite keen
he's
to have
happy
a
to open up, yeah, he's happy to
yeah.
open up his studio for people to actually just go and make their own jewelry, which would be rather lovely. To
Oh,
take something that's um he I have seen him do imprints with plant material in the silver. I may be pushing my luck on that one. But it's a really nice hands-on experience with him. Um, and yeah, he's happy to open up his studio for us if that's what people would like to do.
that sounds lovely. And
Mm.
that would be a lovely sort of culmination and then something
Yeah,
to take home,
something to
wouldn't
take
it?
home. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also, exploring the town, and there are nearby ruins and antiquities um, in the area. So there are things that we can add on if you ask us to. This can be you come to Sicily, you have a day before the retreat starts, you have 4 days with us, and a day at the end, or you could make it longer if you wish to do so. That's entirely up to you, and it can be arranged. So we are including a 4-day guided transformational program with expert guides, myself and Claire. There's going to be circle time where we gather together. There will be movement, there will be meditation and journaling. There will be nature mindfulness sessions in the adjacent nature reserve. And we'll see what everybody wants to do, but there will definitely be some kind of a closing, a coming together. And we thought it might be lovely to do a fire pit ceremony with some drumming or some singing or whatever we feel we need at the end to just
And pizza,
celebrate.
don't forget the pizza and wine because that's
On
quite
pizza and wine, yes. Yes, that's another thing that this retreat is not. It is not silent, it is not alcohol free, it is not no indulgences allowed. So yes, there will be glasses of wine. And included is the space. So as Claire said, you are free to walk those 9 acres and use the space as you wish to in your free time. But there will be a delicious lunch provided and snacks and drinks during the day. So there's the use of the terrace, the grounds, the fire pit area. And there's going to be mats, there'll be cushions and blankets, and I will be bringing journals and pens for everyone. And then afterwards, we are holding space for you in that there will be an open door. So this could be in whatever form it needs to be for all of you, and that is something that we will discuss in Sicily, whether that is the form of a Facebook group or just a WhatsApp group, or just having the contact details for Claire and I so that you know if anything comes up and you need us, that we are there for you. That it isn't that once you have been with us in Sicily that we just sort of say, right, off you go, fly. No, we are here. We are here. And then accommodation and transport. You've got transport to and from the airport on the suggested flight. So we are going to give you Claire's looked up flights, and there are some flights that we think would be a great fit. Daily transport to and from the accommodation, and accommodation in the nearby apartments altogether. So all of that is included. What isn't included, however, is your breakfast and evening meals, although we can help to order supplies. But as Claire said, there's 2 supermarkets nearby, and Claire's favourite restaurant, a 10-minute gentle stroll away. And I thought it would be lovely if I came and joined you at least one evening down in town, and Claire will probably come as well, and we'll have a lovely meal, all of us together. Any extra treatments that you want with Claire, so that Reiki healing or massage. Optional excursions, and if there were any additional leisure and retail activities, obviously those are entirely down to you. Transport to and from the restaurant. So if you didn't fancy walking or you went to somewhere a bit further away, and needed to get a taxi, that again would be down to you. And if you need transport to and from the airport or a different airport on a day and time other than the one that we suggest, we are just doing one run there and one run back. And of course, your flights and insurance. So they would be on top.
Can I just say
But,
something about the flights, Sarah,
mm,
while we're on? So the flights really vary to Sicily. We don't have a huge number of flights coming in, which is why I've been quite specific about the
mm,
ones I've chosen. At the moment, we're talking about 38, 40 euros. So it's a little bit less for sterling, isn't it? Each way.
oh wow.
But if you don't get in at the right time, I just want to warn people they can skyrocket because we have no control over the
Mm,
airlines, obviously. Um, and at certain times of year, you can see those flights hike.
yeah.
Um, so I can also advise what day to book because they will be
Oh,
different if you book on a Wednesday to a Friday or a Saturday. So I can happily give advice on those.
great.
Um, but it's just really worth bearing in mind not to leave flights and things to
Mm,
the last minute for Sicily, just because it can go up and down like this. So it's
yes.
important.
Yeah. Thank you very much. So we are very excited for you to come and join us. The total cost per person for everything that we talked about that was included, so the wonderful program, your accommodation, your transport, all that wonderful space to use, your lunch and drinks and snacks is £720 each. And that QR code, if you were to scan that now, that will take you to a payment link where you can pay for it in 4 monthly instalments, which would start on the 2nd of December of £180 each. So that's the cost of everything and splitting it up. And so all that remains really is to see if you have any questions for us, and then I will go through any final little details. So, TJ, do you have any questions, anything that you wanted to ask?
Have you got a date?
Oh, sorry. Yes, it's the 8th to the 15th of May.
I might have missed it, but
That's a
I haven't.
slight detail. No, I
We don't need to tell people when it is, don't be
I
daft.
knew it. It was in my head. Um, Thank you for asking that.
Okay. Yeah.
Was there anything else that we could help you with?
Um, Probably just a bit of clarification, and probably as I'm asking, I'll remember that you've talked about this anyway. Um, so so you're suggesting we fly the day before, or we fly on day one.
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
then have 4 days with you,
Mm-hmm.
and then we fly back on the sixth day. So actually, there's 5 nights, is it?
No, hang on. Fly on the 8th, then you've got the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th,
9, 10, 11, 12.
with us at the retreat, and then I think the when was the flight back, Claire? Was it the
The flight will be on the 8th and the 13th.
13th? Oh yeah, so yeah,
The
eight,
flights run with
yes.
the ones we're suggesting run on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So
Okay.
it just means you've got that element of free time to either just stay in town or go out on a trip somewhere and do some shopping to take things home or whatever.
Mm,
It's just that wind down time
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you head back in the chaos.
yeah.
yeah.
No, I get that. And sort of the you're saying we provide our own breakfast and evening meal. That's absolutely fine. What sort of timings are you thinking of for our time together at with you two?
Well, again, that I thought once we knew who was coming, that it might be something that we can discuss on another Zoom
Okay.
once everybody's booked in. Personally, I quite like an early start in the morning, but I know for some people it might be a case of that they find that a little bit off-putting. They want to take their mornings a little bit slower, and then that's absolutely fine too. So we'll do what suits people best, but there will be a structure to each day, and we will start with movement and meditation and coming together as a group before we do anything else. Yeah.
So your current expectation is that we will be with you in the space for
Mm.
4, 6 hours, or is there a ballpark currently, or is it just going to be actually we'll see what people need and then decide?
My idea was that it would be from round about 9 o'clock till maybe 4, 5 o'clock. But if
Yeah,
it needs to be a bit later, if people want it to be more 10 o'clock, that's okay. But I would like it to be the same each day so that we get into a bit of a routine and a structure
yeah,
to
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. No, I think that's it's helpful. It's helpful to have an
Mm.
idea of, what you're planning. Because if people are thinking about, well, I might want to go and do something different,
Mm.
when's the time to do that?
Yes.
Is it before or after, or adding extra days to
Mm.
their thing. So the flights, which airport are you suggesting we come into?
It really depends on where people are coming from, but the best flights are Manchester to Trapani, which
Okay.
is the smallest of our airports here. But I've chosen that one for a reason. The flights are cheaper, and it's a nice space to fly into because you're literally coming off the runway out to the front door.
Yeah.
You can't get lost in there. It's just a lovely airport to walk around. Um, we could do Palermo, we could do Catania, but then you're adding on time, you're adding
Yeah.
on size, chaos. I just thought for people coming in, Trapani was a nice, calm, gentle entrance into Sicily.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
the one I'm looking at is Manchester to Trapani. But again, if people are coming from other places, then I'll research those and come up with the best ones.
Yeah.
Mm.
It
Lovely.
sounds absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you. So yeah, what will happen is we will follow up with an email with the flights, with booking agreements, with screening forms, an itinerary, a packing list, and a booking form for the optional extras. And of course, we'll schedule, once we know who's coming, we will schedule some Zoom meetings before the event because it'd be lovely for people to get to know one another before you arrive there, rather than just meeting a group of complete strangers. It'd be nice to just have a few little settling in Zooms. So if anybody does need to get in touch with me, my email is there at the bottom of the screen, sarah@creative-wellbeing.co.uk. And I'm just going to go back one screen just to leave the QR code there for a moment so that if you would like to take advantage of the 4 monthly payments, so that would be December, January, February, March, then that would be through that QR code there. Okay, so if there are no further questions, thank you very much for coming along this evening. If you're watching this on the replay, uh, do feel free to email me or message me because I know a lot of you have my contact details, and just let me know whether you're coming along, whether you're accepting this beautiful invitation to come and join Claire and I in Sicily, or maybe you're interested for another time, but we'd love to welcome you in May. So, Claire, have you got anything that you wanted to add on to this?
Only that
I'm going to stop sharing.
I found this home.
Mhm.
This is my home, and I really, really want to invite anybody that is ready to make any changes or just explore themselves or life or whatever. I just generally want to share my home with them. So yeah, I would love to welcome you all in May.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, and we hope to hear from you all soon.